This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description. Hello and welcome everyone to our 90th session of HalloCasa. My name is Michael and today I'm talking to Agnieszka Kijonka from Central Algarve in Portugal. Agnieszka is founder of A1 Algarve Luxury Real Estate. She is Polish born and raised in Germany. She studied at the prestigious Ludwig Maximilians University in Munich in Germany, where she laid the foundation for her international career. With over 20 years of experience in luxury markets, Agnieszka blends deep local insights with global sophistication, speaking 7 languages and bridging cultures with ease. From crypto-powered property deals to boutique real estate in Quinta do Lago, she's redefining what it means to lead in high-end living. Her multidisciplinary background across real estate, fine art, and technology, combined with her commitment to discretion and service, has earned her the trust of high net worth individuals across Europe. Agnieszka, I'm really pumped to have you on the show. I love to talk with people who are so experienced and experts in their local market. But why don't you introduce yourself to our audience in your own words?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. And well, you said it all. I didn't have to add on anything, basically. That's perfectly said.
Don't undersell yourself. I mean, you have a very interesting background, I must say. You know, first and foremost, let's maybe start from the beginning. Why did you leave Poland? Was it just the studies or was it the curiosity to conquer the world from there? What was the trigger there?
I must admit, I was 4 years old when my parents left Poland. So the fact that I'm still speaking and writing Polish is really only up to them because they kept that in family while I was growing up in Germany, in Munich, Bavaria. So I grew up in Germany, and I keep saying I've got a German brain, but a Polish heart. And that makes the difference. And the reason why I left Germany was that as a Polish individual, when my son was born, I didn't feel he was half Polish, half German. Although I have a German passport, obviously I am German. I didn't feel like I wanted him to grow up in Germany. I wanted him to see the world, to be more international. And so I left Germany to America, then to Italy. And after 3 years in Italy, I decided that's not the right place. And since I knew Portugal from my many, many holidays before, since my father used to have a house since the late 70s here in Valdelobo, I decided to come here to live. And that was the best decision I've ever done in my life.
You started in arts, and that's also obviously a passion. What's the combination and maybe also the connection where you see arts is an important factor also in real estate?
I was selling high-end niche market art at that time in the 90s in Germany. There was this, the German modern artists like Richter, like boys were very up, very sought after. So the paintings were ultra large and they were very expensive. We're talking here about 250,000 Deutschmarks at that time. And higher. So that was a very luxurious niche market. And to sell something like that was not easy. It was a challenge. And when I came to Portugal, it wasn't possible for me to open a gallery because there was no demand for art. In the end 90s, the Algarve was there were even roads which weren't paved properly. So since there was no demand and I had to feed my kid, there was the logical alternative to do basically to stay in the same kind of market, but do something parallel, which would be selling the walls where you hang the art. And that's how I came into the luxurious niche market of property.
You just mentioned it. You know exactly Portugal, or have been knowing Portugal for a very long time. And therefore, I'm very happy to have you on the show. How has the Algarve changed? I mean, when was it when you started, when you moved? And give us an overview there so that people can get an idea of the vast development there?
I know the Algarve since 1978 when we were here the first time for holidays, when my father fell in love with the place and suddenly just decided to buy a house here. And so he came back constantly on holidays and saw it growing. And honestly, it was everything that is houses now. It was all beautiful, beautiful pine tree woods. And you see slowly wood by woods coming down and being replaced by houses. So yes, there was a huge difference. There is a huge difference between the 70s, the 90s, and now. But I must tell you, the last 10 years were the most changing ones, or maybe even a little bit longer, because it's since Portugal became a partner in the European Union, and the money started to flow in, and the highway from Spain to Sagres was built, which is the connecting one parallel to the coast. I think that was the moment when it all really went off. When people were able to get from the airport further away, not just to Quinta do Lago. And this is why Quinta do Lago has become such an old, well, I would say the longest standing place, because it was only 15 minutes away from the airport and was easy to come here. And the airport was very tiny at that time, so they were coming maybe five flights in per day. Now it's many more, and it's a very loud place, yet the prices are going up to 25 million per house. So it is a crazy market. It is probably the only place on the earth where you have loud noise from the airport, yet the highest prices in the entire country.
Fast forward to today, what's the situation there? You just mentioned that it's a very strong market right now. It's high prices, even close to the airport. Give us an overview. What's the status of the market situation now in July 2025?
After the Lehman Brothers crisis, I thought actually we will never get to the price structures back that we had before. And the market started to recuperate very, very healthily. And we had this pandemic in 2019, 2020, when people started to flock into Portugal, because they realized, into the Algarve specifically, because they realized they can have here, for the same kind of money that they have in their home countries, like in England, Germany, or Holland, they can have here a piece of land where they can spend their time also outside in the sun, not only in their tiny apartments. And that was a big difference for them. So it's all of a sudden, Portugal was on the map. Before that, Portugal didn't exist really on the map. It was like an appendix of Spain. People got stuck in Spain, and Portugal was really for the few special ones who would go for the extra mile to come here, and also would accept that there are different languages, there are different cuisines, there is a different lifestyle between Portugal and Spain. You can't compare Marbella and Puerto Banús with Quinta do Lago and Valdelobo. That's impossible. We have kind of a quiet and different way of life, of luxury than Spain. So yeah, that was the moment when it all went off a bit. But the biggest moment when the market really exploded was with the Ukrainian war. That was when also the northern Europeans woke up and started getting worried and were looking to move to Portugal, feeling that it's maybe the furthest away from the geopolitical problem, yet still possible to get in the car and drive here. So it's not an island. Oh, and now we have a new wave. It's the wave of the Americans. We're getting a lot of Democrats leaving their country from America due to the Trump situation. And we have direct flights from New York to Faro. This year they started. So we're having the first Americans coming directly into the Algarve. And that also changes the price range. I mean, just from last year to this year, we had a 7% raise in prices, and that's just starting.
This boils down to what square meter price range do we talk?
Unfortunately, you can't say it. You can't really. This is something that I used to have a lot of questions of that kind with my clients, and that's quite interesting because we can't really say the square meter price is this or that. It's a luxury market. The luxury market is a market where you pay the money that you have or want to spend on the property because you want to have it. It's not because you need to have it. So it's not like you're living in Berlin or in London and you need to move your apartment to another place because your children are attending now a different school and you need to move. No. This is the market where you want to spend the money or you don't want to spend the money. So prices partially are even complete fantasy prices. It's crazy what people are asking for their houses. They're putting houses up for sale saying, well, let's see, maybe I find the one who wants to pay it. It happens. Of course, we have also, and I'm trying to advise my clients to stay or to keep to the market price, to the current market price in order to be able to sell, because there are companies out there which are property companies which love to list properties because they get bonuses in the companies for the listing, which we don't as a boutique company. I don't have that. We list only properties that we really can sell. So if somebody comes and says, oh, I want to have 7 million for my house, whilst I think, no, the house is maybe 3.5 million, but not more. And I discussed that with the owner and he still wants to have 7 million. I said, well, okay, you know what? I'm not going to sell it. Give it to somebody else. I'm not interested.
I know a couple of people who are still looking for a bargain or a good deal in the Algarve. You just mentioned it's it's a luxury market. Do you say that because you serve the luxury market, you are focused on the luxury market, or is it just literally like, listen, imagine Algarve luxury, there's nothing, you don't go and find like a cheap deal anywhere anymore. Think about like Marbella or Dubai, equal to Algarve. Give me like an idea what I can expect if I should even try to still find a gold nugget somewhere, or is it just fully luxury right now?
Well, it is purely luxury right now. Prices have gone up. They still are below luxury prices in Marbella or in other or in the Côte d'Azur, if you want to have the right comparison. However, of course, there are always bargains because there are divorces, there are situations where the parents get to a certain age and they have to leave the country for health reasons, and the children don't want to keep the house because they're not interested in the Algarve, they prefer another country. So there are, of course, always bargains as well. Eventually, you have to wait for those. If you want to go cheaper, you rather want to go up the hills. So the further north you go in the Algarve, the lower the prices.
Prior to our call, you said you uploaded some listings on HalloCasa, and also for the reason that you said, I want to give like a nice overview of what's out there. You can either go into the hills or you can be like on the beachfront. Maybe here, since we're talking about the prices and also about certain portfolio elements, can you maybe take those ones and also give a potential investor an idea of what you can expect and what is actually maybe also what are products for specific people and what is the investment vehicle and way for them to obtain and what they can get basically?
When you go to the resorts, which are usually rather nearby the sea, nearby the beach, you have to account with many costs. You have to condominium costs, or at least, for instance, in Quinta do Lago and Valdelobo, you have the water costs more than it costs further inland. But they are also very manicured, they are very well looked after, so you're paying for a reason. But yes, the costs to run a property or to maintain your property in a resort are definitely higher than if you have your property further out. Or when you have your property nearby the sea, you usually have the possibility to get to the sea, obviously, within a few minutes, which many people prefer. Very often they have, how should I put it? People love the beach because there are also beach bars and beach restaurants, and a lot of time, I mean, you spend your time in the Algarve mostly outside. So you're not only sitting at your pool and at your barbecue area. But generally, the properties which are further inland, further down at the beach, they are more expensive. I have given you this opportunity to see a property which is 12.5 million in Villamora. It is an 8-bedroom and actually 8 suites, 8 bedrooms en suite property, which has an amazing potential. It is very, very exclusive, and it's built on the double plot, so it's got a lot of privacy. We'll be talking about privacy in a second. Since privacy is quite, I would say, quite a rare thing in the resorts. In this case, you have beautiful, beautiful privacy, and your pool area is completely you can't see from inside unless you fly over it, and it's not allowed. So these are the things which are very rare. That's why the price is also higher than for instance, when you have a property somewhere outside the central Algarve area down at the beach. Now, the other property is 3.5 million. This is a beautiful house, which is absolutely modern. It's full of electronic gadgets, and it overlooks it has the most amazing panoramic view down to the sea. But the sea is distant, so you don't see the sea like you're not front line. And here we're talking about a huge price difference. So between 12.5 million and 3.5 million, that's quite a bit, quite a way. You have the same kind of luxury, you have the same kind of privacy, but up here in the hills, you are secluded. And in 15 minutes, you're down at the beaches, at the golf courses of Villamora. Whereas in the other house that I just said, the 12.5 million, you can get on your bike and drive around Villamora and reach the tennis center, the paddle center, every golf course. So these are the differences also about the areas, but then you can't have the view. So there is one thing or the other. You can't have it all. In this case, in the central Algarve, we have that kind of saying, you have either the view or you have you're near to the beach. So that's.
What do you see from international investors right now? Let's say the US American, let's talk maybe also Golden Visa there. What's their main ask? What are they looking for? Is it exactly the luxury? Is it actually just an investment vehicle and they want to park their money? You mentioned Trump before, can be also like Forex exchange, USD versus Euro exchange problems, parking their money. What do you see there as like the main request from international investors or maybe even Europeans?
I see 2 trends right now. One trend is the non-EU residents coming in and asking for visas. The golden visa is basically I would never, ever anymore recommend the golden visa. First of all, the real estate part is over. And even if you do any other investments with a golden visa, you have to wait for a very, very long time. While if you go for the D7 visa, which is also called the passive income or retirement visa, or for the D8 visa, which is called the digital nomad visa. If you go for one of those, it's very quick to get those. You wait maybe 1 to 2 months, and they are easier to ask for. So the digital nomad visa, the D8, is tailored basically for remote workers and online entrepreneurs. And the requirements include a monthly income of at least 3,280 euros, 2025. So if you can have a proof of remote employment or freelance contracts, you can get an initial 1-year residency, which will be renewable. And the D7 visa for the passive income, which is the favorite one for the retirees, of which we have actually more because we are working a lot with the baby boomers and the Gen Z people. So there you have just to have a proof of at least 820 euros a month, realistically double that. And then if you have that proof on your account, you can lease or own a property, and then you have access to the public healthcare system, and you can have family reunification. Everything is included. That's the easiest way to come in. So this is the one thing that we do have a lot of retirees and digital nomads coming in, working here, because the lifestyle is amazing. I mean, the lifestyle in the Algarve is unique. It's the weather, it's the food, it's the weather, the climate. It's the climate because it's a microclimate, which is very good for your system. And the sports facilities. We've got amazing sports facilities here in the Algarve, which are all very nearby. So yeah. So that's the one. The second one that I see, which is getting more and more imminent, is we do have a lot of crypto billionaires. And they are starting to withdraw their crypto and are trying to invest into brick and mortar. And I see this is a trend which has become very imminent now in the last few, I would say even months, because obviously that has to do with what's happening in America with the crypto market. So we have a company we are working with in Switzerland who is helping us to do everything in a legit way, everything in a legal way, following all the rules and regulations. And buyers can then pay in crypto while the sellers can get the property, the value either in crypto or in fiat money.
Regarding the other way of purchasing it, do you sometimes do full online purchases that the, let's say, person from the US hasn't even traveled and you do, I don't know, showings with your phone and with videos, and you send a CPCV and you do maybe even only 80% of the process, not fully. Is that a common thing nowadays?
No, not with me. I mean, could be that other colleagues have that kind of, or had eventually these kind of procedures. I didn't have that since COVID, no. During COVID, yes, we had a few sales done online, but no, recently, what we usually do is if we have American clients or clients who are further away, one way or the other, we do a video call, we do video viewing, and if they like it, they come over. A property, in the end of the day, if it's for you, not as an investment, but it's if you want to be here, and most of the properties I'm selling are residential properties, so it's a second residence, a first residence, a fifth residence, actually happened just now. People want to feel well in this property, and you can't sell a house and you can't know where you feel well through a video. You have to go in there and get the vibe. I think that has a lot to do with the emotions.
Let's talk A1 properties. Let me just rephrase this one. Is it the real name? Wait. Okay, one more time. Let's talk A1 Algarve Luxury Real Estate. You have been in business for quite a while. Give us an overview there and also your differentiation along the market.
I would say one of the things that I would especially like to mention is the curating legacy properties. So at A1, when we say we curate legacy properties, we mean that we don't just deal in real estate. We represent homes that have soul provenance and which have a long-term value. So these aren't just square meters, as we just said, with the price tag. They're estates that carry history and intention and, I believe, enduring beauty. That's my personal view on things. We actually work with properties that are meant to be passed down and not flipped. We have also clients who do flip, and we do that too. We are very versatile. But my preference is really that each property has a story, whether it's architectural craftsmanship or generational ownership or a truly unique setting. And now I'm selling certain properties a third time. So I've sold it like years way back to one family, then they came back selling it a second time, and now a third. For my clients, it's not only just trends, it's also about their timelessness. And the other thing that I would like to point out is the discretion of business. And there's a specific power, especially in a very small surrounding like here in the Algarve. Discretion in business is a very undervalued currency. And yet, I think it's one of the most powerful ones. So specifically in the luxuries sector, I would say silence often speaks louder than publicity. And that I can see with a lot of VIPs I have as clients. Nobody knows we have them because we don't talk about it. And they are so grateful that they are sending their friends, which is even the best. I think that's the best marketing ever.
Is that client side or seller side? Seller side?
Buyer side. Both sides actually, because we do have also the private listings, which we curate very much as well. So the private listings are of transactions basically based on, we have them on our website, but we don't show them. We just describe them. If somebody has interest, we then send the information. So yes, it's also on the buyer's side. In the seller's side. On the buyer's side, we don't broadcast who we are working with. In fact, the most valuable transactions with the most influential clients were my most iconic properties that I've sold. And, that happens behind closed doors. So A1 Lounge, where I'm just sitting right now, it is a shop, a real estate shop, but it's completely impossible to look into here. So when my clients are coming to visit me, they have full privacy. It's not one of these typical real estate offices. So everything is behind closed doors because I believe that discretion builds trust. And that is what attracts clients most. That's what my clients value the most, the privacy, the loyalty, and the taste over spectacle.
I want to point out one thing which I like on your website. It says the whole team at A1 undergoes regular training above and beyond the minimum standards now prescribed by Portuguese law. Compulsory elements include applicable law and ethics, and we have added extra modules that we feel are particular benefit to our clients. I do like that because I know from many countries that brokerages tend to say, listen, come, agent, you're a freelancer and you can reuse our license. It's fine. You have to, I'm being right now like playing devil's advocate and saying like, you be pretty, be a sales guy, and we help you grow. But you go much stronger on the element to say we actually want every agent to embody the sophistication, the professionalism, and also the expertise, because that's what we stand for. Can you talk more about that, how you came up and how this also translates to your day-to-day operations?
Yeah, that has to do a lot with two things. The luxury real estate market in the Algarve has matured beyond being a seasonal retreat. So it is now a year-round destination for high net worth individuals. Based on that, I also, so when I started, I had housewives and other people who weren't actually, well, people who were doing things halfway, I would call it. So like it was their second job to be a freelancer in my company. And I gave them the possibility to sell. And I realized this is not the right way. My clients are not being served well. So I started to be very, very picky with the people who are working with me. In the moment, we have a very nice and stable staff, which is I have a lawyer, an ex-lawyer. I have a civil engineer. I've got an architect on board. They are all also in sales, but they have a different way to be able to advise clients. And every person in my company gets additional training by the UpMIP Academy. And that is 3 to 4 courses a year, not only the compulsory course of money laundering, but also courses in how to do business on a daily basis. And that is because I really, for me, it's really important to give the information to my clients to be able to make an informed decision.
I learned a lot today. You gave us a very interesting overview of the Algarve, your very strong personal touch regarding luxury real estate, and also I can really feel when I talk to you that you know how to deal with high net worth individuals. And I'm confident that everyone doing business with you feels in good hands. You also gave us a very nice overview of the Algarve region and the distinction between being in the mountains versus, going like for something more beachside. And it goes along what you said, buying online versus offline. You need to feel it. It's not only an investment vehicle, but you go and you see if this is something for you. And everyone has a different taste and different preferences. You also gave us a very interesting insight regarding your approach regarding how to create a strong team so that you can basically also execute on service excellence, if I may say that. And I mean, in the end, you having been in business for 2 decades speaks for itself. Is there anything you would like to share with the audience which we haven't touched upon?
I think basically that's it. I'm very proud that the Algarve now is on the map finally, and that people have started to understand how safe they can feel, because safety is a big issue in the rest of Europe, whereas here in Portugal we're blessed. So yeah, I believe safety is one of the most important things that we haven't spoken about. And yeah, I think the most important is also to find the right real estate agent, because there are lots of real estate agents out there who don't know their stuff. To be careful also with the choice about your real estate agent. Try to find one that gives more information also, maybe already on the website. If you go on our website, you will find our blogs, our videos, our podcast, actually our own podcast, all with information, specific information, how to buy, how to deal with properties here in Portugal. It's a different market. It's a different it's a different buying process. All this is being explained, and I'm not going to do this now here because that would be stretching your time and it would be very boring for some who know about it already. But if you go on my blogs and on my podcast, you can get all the information there. And that is quite important to know about the buying process before you even started, and to know about some pitfalls or you say booby traps, whatever, before you start thinking even about buying a property. So yeah, that's basically it.
Perfect. Agnieszka, sending the best regards to the Algarve. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and sunny regards back.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description.